Good evening, everyone. This is Gail from the back row of the band. We have a lot of people here on the bandstand, and at a quick count, I think we have over 50 musicians tonight, which is really awesome. Thank you again to all our sit-ins that are coming out and enjoying this fine summer evening. I thought it would be cold tonight, but it's not. It's kind of muggy. But thank you. I hope the rain stays away for all you fine folks in the audience. Thank you again for coming out and supporting us this summer. This is our last Twilight Tuesday performance for the month of July. I know. What are we going to do in August, right? Anyways, I would like to... What? Oh, I'm supposed to put a plug in for Wednesday night in Pitt Meadows. The Bruce James Orchestra will be playing tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. At Pitt Meadows, Spirit Square. Anyways, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered here today on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, particularly the Katzie and Kwanton First Nations. I would like to introduce our conductor for the evening, Dr. John Van Deursen.
Thank you, Gail. Normally I'm standing in front, but this is like a TV show from the 1960s. Coming up and downstairs, and microphones with cables. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to get started first with O Canada, and then we'll play our program. All right, thank you. So tonight's concert is what we call the Player's Choice. So everything on this program tonight was chosen by our musicians based on, I gave them a list and had them rank the pieces that we've been playing all the way through the summer and had them rank which ones they wanted to do again for tonight's concert. So we're going to start with a march by Jamie Texidor, who is famous for writing this march. He wrote some chamber music, but basically his entire oeuvre that's made him famous is this march. And it's called Amparito Roca, and it's a march in the Paso Doble, the Spanish style. And I was really excited to do some research on this and find some incredible story about a beautiful location high in the mountains, the Pyrenees, called Amparito Roca, but that does not have anything to do with it. Amparito Roca is a young piano student of his, and he wrote this piece for them, and here it is. Next, we're going to perform two movements from the folk song suite by Ralph Vaughan Williams. And so, as I've said a few times before in these concerts, Vaughan Williams was one of a number of composers in the early part of the 20th century when a lot of countries were actually being more firmly established. So you had Italy in the late 1870s, Germany was going through the same process. So there was a lot of composers were being compelled to find music that was based in their localities and to create larger works out of that. So Dvorak in the Czech, well, back then it was Czechoslovakia. No, not even then, it was a part of the, okay, never mind, that's too complicated. It'll take 20 minutes to explain, but he was using music from folk. Then there was the Hungarian dances, the Liszt, Brahms, the list goes on and on. So Vaughan Williams in England composed this suite of music based on, each movement is based on 2 or 3 shorter folk tunes. And it was written for military band, which is not unusual at that time. But for us, we were sort of surprised by that because in the early part of the 20th century, the two more famous wind ensembles, well, the term wind ensemble didn't actually exist until the 1960s, but the bands that had the wind and brass and percussion all together were the military bands. And so Vaughan Williams wrote for the English military band, and it's a beautiful suite that he's created. So we're going to do, the first one that we're going to do is the March 17 Come Sunday. Thank you. Now we're going to skip over the second movement. He has a beautiful, soft second movement that we're going to perform at another time. They thought I was going to say we're going to perform it. We haven't done it all summer, so they were all... Next, we're going to do the march, and this is the final movement in this suite. This is based on folk songs from Somerset.
There's Glenn.
So, after having established ourselves firmly in Europe with our Amparita Roca from Spain, and then the English folk song suite. Now we're going to move to Eastern Canada with the Canadian Folk Song Rhapsody. And this one features 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beautiful Canadian folk songs. First we have a Fenian song. We've got the beautiful slow ballad, She's Like the Swallow. We've got donkey riding. We've got Eyes the By from Newfoundland, the Acadian Lullaby from New Brunswick, and finishing with the classic French-Canadian folk song, I Hear the Mill Wheel, J'entends le Moulin. And this arrangement's done by one of the great wind band composers from the United States, James Curnow. So enjoy this Canadian folk song rhapsody. Now, incidentally, this piece was not voted by the band. I do not know why. But I took my conductor's veto, which is worth as many band votes as I wish it to make, and I said that this one came in the top rank. Of course they know that's a total bunch of bull crap, but pardon my French. Okay, here we go. Canadian Folk Song Rhapsody. Thank you. Apparently, the band likes rhapsodies because we've done folk song. No, that was folk song suite, but then we did Canadian folk rhapsody. We did another rhapsody, and now we're doing the Armenian rhapsody. A little bit later on, we're going to do Bohemian rhapsody. So tonight is the night of rhapsodies. So Johnny Vincent, American composer, did some research recently on some of the folk music of Armenia. I'm just looking at when he composed this. 2017, so this is quite recent. And he found a treasure trove of folk songs collected and cataloged by Komitas Vartapet, who was a musicologist and composer living in the early part of the 20th century. And what's unique about a lot of Armenian folk music is that use the harmonic Maliner scale, which has a jump in it. Da dee da da dee da. Then here's the jump. Da dee dee da 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 da. Band, did you pay I'm just making sure they're impressed with my singing abilities. So we're going to play this Armenian Rhapsody. So it features 5 Armenian folk tunes. And they are Song of the Spinning Wheel, Sleep, My Little One, children's song, Clap Clap. And the final section combines 2 songs, Darling, Lamb, and I Had a Beloved. So here is the Armenian Rhapsody as compiled and arranged by Johnny Vincent. now to the music of Vienna. In the early part of the 20th century, well, even, actually this is much even earlier than that, 1825. And the music of Franz Schubert. Now Schubert, he wrote 8 symphonies, but we actually know him more for his lieder, which is 1 piano, 1 voice. And he's written hundreds of art songs for voice and piano. Vienna, at the mid to late part of the 1800s and into the early 20th century, was quite a it was a city that had encouraged a lot of immigration of the time, coming from across the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it was you had Freud. Later, you had Einstein. It was an incredible scientific, but also philosophical and artistic center at this time. So Schubert was well celebrated in Vienna at the time, and of course we still continue to enjoy his music. One of his greatest compositions, one of his most well-known pieces, is Ave Maria, and we're going to perform that for you now. And this is set in a, clearly it's not originally written for wind ensemble, so this is set by Frank Ticelli in a beautiful version. So here is Ave Maria. Okay. Now we're going to do, this is an original composition we're going to do next year. And it's by Dave Black. He composed it for young bands. And it's called The Emerald Isle, which of course is referring to Ireland. And it's based in the style of Irish folk song. So, first movement, lush, warm, beautiful lyric, and should be, according to the documentation here, it says it should be played from the heart. So we'll try to do the best we can with that. Next, the second movement, it's all joined together as a dance-like march in 6/8 time, and I'm sure you'll enjoy this. So here is the Emerald Isle. Now, you have noticed, ladies and gentlemen, we've had some nice flowing music and some nice energetic music. Now it is time for all of you to be slightly more involved. This piece is called Can You Name These Tunes? Oops. I just took where the can was going. Inside, so this is based, first of all, on the Can-Can, which is the famous ballet piece of music from within Orpheus in the Underworld by Jacques Offenbach. And you've all heard that. Don't worry, you'll recognize it. So buried within that piece, we have, I think it's 11 other famous classical pieces. So we've got the Stars and Stripes Forever by Jean-Philippe Sousa. We have the Toreador song from Carmen. We have the Hall of the Mountain King by Grieg. Simple Gifts, which is a traditional American shaker melody used by Copland. The Wedding March by Wagner. The slow movement of the New World Symphony, which is often called a spiritual, called Going Home by Dvorak. O Tannenbaum, for those of you that do not speak German, that is Christmas Tree. We have the William Tell Overture by Rossini, Yankee Doodle, traditional American tune, some melodies from the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky, the Anvil Chorus from Verdi, Old MacDonald, not referring to the restaurant over there, but the children's song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and of course the previously mentioned Can-Can by Offenbach. Let me count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 classical melodies that I am sure all of you have heard before. So when we perform this piece, what I want you to do is as soon as you hear a melody that you've heard before, I want you to stand up immediately and start applauding. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. Because you'd be all standing up and applauding all the way through the piece. You'd be exhausted by the end of it. So never mind that. Don't do that. So here is Can You Name These Tunes? And this was all put together by Jerry Williams. Here we go. Okay, How many got Stars and Stripes? The very beginning was Stars and Stripes, the very end we had Stars and Stripes. Toreador song from Karma. Okay, good. Howl of the Mountain King. Simple Gifts. So far you're winning back there. Must be a musician. Wedding March. Come on, you must have got the Wedding March. It was buried in there. 3 of you. Going Home from the New World Symphony. No. Okay, next one, O Tannenbaum. Yes, okay, 5. We got up to 5. Band, we got 5. William Tell Overture. Okay, now we got 8. Yankee Doodle. 5. 1812 Overture. Picked up, good, that's 8. We're up to 8. Amble Chorus. Maybe you don't know that as well. That's okay. Old MacDonald. Okay, 8. Up to 9. We got 9. Okay, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Oh God, 10. Not bad. And of course the Can-Can. Okay, great. You're such a fantastic audience. Thank you so much. Okay, that was instructions for the band. Now we're ready. Okay, we're going to do this celebration tribalesque. And this is it's inspired by the customs and music of the tribes across Africa, composed by Randall D. Standridge. And we've really had a good time with this piece through the summer. And the band, this is one of the high voted pieces on here, so we're really happy to perform this. Now, there is something special about this piece, which is that it's written in a very unusual time signature, which has 2 triplets and then 2 duples. Now I know that doesn't quite make sense, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So the way it goes is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, you ready? You're all going to do this now. Okay, and a 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. You have to say the numbers. That really helps. Okay, just say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just 1, 2, 3s. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, you can't slow down. You have to be steady. Band, you do it. 1, 2, 3. Do you see what all the years of training has done for us? Okay, that's the first part. The second part is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's easier. Okay, here we go. You, 1, 2, 3, go. Now to make it even easier, we're going to combine those 2. We're going to go 2 of the 3s and 2 of the 2s. So 2 3s and 2 2s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. To make it easier for you, I'm going to use a food reference. The triplets, or the 3-beat pattern, is 3 syllables, and for that we shall use the word banana. And the duple has 2 syllables. We're going to use 2 different words that have 2 syllables each, peanut and butter. So we're going to go banana, banana, peanut butter, banana, banana, peanut butter. And in celebration of this complex activity that I'm asking you to partake in, I wore my special banana socks tonight. next summer I'll have a peanut butter sock over here so we can have banana, banana, peanut butter. Okay? So back to you, and you can clap on the first syllable. I know this is complex, but I'm sure you can do it. So we're going to go like this.
Ready? Here we go. Ready, go. Going. Stop.
You faded. Sorry. No ice cream for you tonight. All right, moving on. It's time for some television themes. We're going to do a medley called the Comedy Classics. Inside this one, also voted one of their favorites by the band. We are going to hear the theme from Happy Days. A song that's called The Ballad of Jed Clampett. You probably know it more as the theme from the Beverly Hillbillies. The Brady Bunch, Bewitched, the Addams Family theme, and I Love Lucy. Here we go, Comedy Classics. few days ago I was on Netflix, and they were playing Emergency, which was a TV show from the 1980s, early 80s, late 70s. And I used to watch that with my dad here in Maple Ridge when I was going to high school. And what I found interesting was listening to the soundtrack as I was watching the show, and I really felt it was very different kind of music that was going on in that television show back in those days. And I couldn't quite put my finger on what was different. And then I realized that most of the music that we just listened to, most of those theme songs were actually recorded by musicians in studios. And nowadays, a lot of that is done with sound modules and computers, not computers composing the music, but composers sitting at a keyboard. And a lot of it is, what you hear is not actual musicians in the studio anymore. It really changes the feel of the music. In 20 years, you'll go back, you'll listen to the soundtracks of the TV and the movies that you've watched now, and you'll feel something different about it again, because of course it will have changed in another 20 years. Just very interesting how these things evolve over time. Next, we're going to do another of our player's choice. This is the best of James Bond, and features 4 great classic James Bond themes. So the first one is the James Bond theme, composed by John Barry, although it was not acknowledged to John Barry at the time. It was listed on the soundtrack as Monty Lane. I think the issue there was John Barry was just getting started in the 1970s, and he didn't have his union card yet, so he couldn't actually get credit for it. So they had to use Monty Lane's name. But John Barry later became famous. We'll recognize his music from Dances with Wolves, and there were a couple other big movies that he scored in the 1990s. So he wrote the James Bond theme, which is classic. We all know it. As soon as you hear it, you'll know. Then we're going to do Goldfinger, and then one more recent one, Skyfall, and the classic by Paul McCartney, Live and Let Die. So here is the best of James Bond. So far, so good with the weather, huh? I shouldn't have said that. I think we're going to be okay. Those menacing dark clouds they went to get a beer over down there somewhere. Okay, next, we're going to do a medley that we call 80s Gold. Now, I'm calling it 80s Gold, but yes, we are starting with Bohemian Rhapsody. I just said something that might have been confusing to them, so I just cleared that up. It's going to start with one of the great songs by the rock band Queen called Bohemian Rhapsody, which was too long for a hit song. I think it comes in around just over 4.5 minutes. And Freddie Mercury and the rest of the band, they didn't want to cut it down. They wanted it to be the way it was, and it turned out to be one of their great hits. And then in the late 80s, the late 80s, Queen started to fade a little bit, and then unfortunately Freddie Mercury fell ill, and he was in the hospital right in the last year of his life in 1991, and he was visited by Mike Myers, our Toronto comedian who was at that time on Saturday Night Live. And Mike was doing a comedy skit with Dana Carvey, which was pretending that they were doing a cable access show from their basement, and that show was called Wayne's World. Mike had been proposing and had signed a contract to make a movie, Wayne's World, which came out in 1992. And I don't know if you remember, but the movie starts with them driving around in Milwaukee, I think it is, in a Pacer, and they're listening to Bohemian Rhapsody, and of course, if you go on YouTube, the clip that everybody goes and looks at is when they start bobbing their heads to Bohemian Rhapsody. And that scene actually really resurrected the music of Queen in the minds of another generation. And since then, we've continually heard their music. So we're going to do the Bohemian Rhapsody, followed by one of the other great, the king of pop, as he was known then, Michael Jackson's Thriller. And then the classic, lovely, animated theme, not a theme song, it was a song from inside the movie, Somewhere Out There, from, what was it called, A Mouse's Tale? No, what was it? An American Tale, right. And followed by Kenny Loggins' classic, Footloose. So here is the medley that we call 80s Gold. All right. Our last piece on this player's choice. Classic, ABBA. I don't know what it is about their music, but we always enjoy playing it. So this is a great medley arranged by Michael Brown. And it has I Have a Dream, Mamma Mia, SOS, Knowing Me, Knowing You, The Winner Takes It All, and Dancing Queen. And here it is. We'd like to thank you for enjoying our performance this evening. We're very happy to see you here tonight. We will take a hiatus for just over a month. We'll be back in September rehearsing. We'll have a fall concert, we'll have a spring concert, and we'll be back here again in the park on July again for the Twilight Tuesdays concert series. We also do perform at the Remembrance Day ceremony, which is a very poignant and touching ceremony that takes place also here. Anything else you want me to plug, Gail?
If you have a hankering to learn how to play an instrument, there's an ABC band.
We have 3 levels of bands. The ABC band is for those of you that have had this inside internal hankering to play an instrument but never have done it. And I'm talking starting from scratch. Never played an instrument before, come on down. We do that every Tuesday night. We have an intermediate group, those in the ABC who practice hard, get their bonus. I don't know what Gita gives for bonuses, like 5 stars on the corner of their music for practicing through the year, can move up into the intermediate band. And we in fact do have members from the performance band, which you're hearing tonight, who started in the ABC, that's the lowest level band that we have, and they moved up into intermediate and came into our group. So it's a great system that we have going. We encourage you to find out more about us. Just look us up on the internet or talk to any one of us. Thank you so much. Here is ABBA on Broadway. You're learning. I've been training you for the last 4 concerts. I know some of you've been here for all 4 of them. That's great. So yes, we will do one more. Here's Bandology by Eric Osterling.
Wow. Hey, we've got a lot more people when we started out at 7:30. I just noticed, I don't notice it when we're sitting in the back. Anyways, on behalf of the Maple Ridge Concert Band, we'd like to thank you for enduring tonight. It's a little bit darker than what we're used to in stopping tonight, and we appreciate the audience. We've had a fun season. We look forward to entertaining you next year in our bandstand. Band. I'd like to thank John for all the work that you've done. I'd like to thank John Deursen for all the work that he's put into us this season and the Twilight Tuesday. Thank you, John. I'd like to get a picture, and Mike said at the end of the night, I was going to get a picture while we were up there. Okay.
That's good.
guys, I'm going to do 2 panels. One, you're a full man.
Hey, nice to meet you, Brooke. Yeah. Hi, Brooke. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's like...
I'm serious.
Two girls with
Congratulations.